Welcome to the demo video of our 50-30-20 budget spreadsheet. The 50-30-20 budget spreadsheet contains 4 tabs. The first tab that you will find is the README tab. On the README tab, you'll find some quick instructions as well as a link to this demo video. You'll then find an example tab. On the example tab, we have included some tips and tricks on all these blue fields, as well as some general information and basically an example budget. So if you don't know where to start, you can have a look here and see if anything here might help you out. We then have included 2 budget tabs. Now these budget tabs are exactly the same. The only difference between these 2 budget tabs is that the colors are slightly different. They function exactly the same, so you can just pick whichever one works best for you. Now, once you've picked one of your budget spreadsheets, we recommend making a template. We recommend making a template because this way you can basically duplicate from this template every single time, and you will always keep a tab that basically works and functions as intended. Now, to make a template, we recommend adding subcategories, your due dates, and if you'd like, your planned amounts. This way, every time that you make a duplicate, all you have to do is adjust the due dates if needed or adjust the planned amounts, but then all your categories will be there, so you don't have to adjust this for every single month or paycheck period. Now, to do this, the first thing that we're going to want to do is look in the top left here. On the top left, you'll be able to change a couple of things. The first things that you can change is the start and the end date. So basically for this, all you have to do is double click on this field and then just go through the calendar and pick the day that you want to start your budget on. So for example, it's currently July 24th, and let's say we want to start budgeting as of tomorrow, we just click 25th here. Now you do the same for the end date. So let's say we want to budget for a full month, we just scroll through the calendar and switch it to August 24th. We have now created a budget for the month, and as you can see on the top left, our month will update as well. Now the next thing that we can do is change the currency. You can change this to any currency that you like. So basically all you have to do is just double click on this field and then with the backspace button on your keyboard, delete the currency sign that's already available and type in a currency sign or abbreviation of your own. For example, the euro sign. When you type in the euro sign here or change the currency sign, you'll see that it will update everywhere else in the spreadsheet. Now the last thing you can modify on the top left here is the start balance. So if you have any money left over from last month or last paycheck period, you can enter that amount here. Again, to do this, just double click on the field and type in the amount. So let's say, for example, we had $500 left, we just type in the $500 here. Now the next little section that we have below this is the percentage breakdown. So as this is a 50-30-20 budget, it is standard set to 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for the future categories. So for example, savings, debt payments, and investments. However, these percentages don't work for everyone. So if you want to modify or change these at any time, you just double click on the field and type in the percentage that works for you. So for example, if you want to spend, let's say for example, 40% on needs, 30% on wants, and you want to save a little bit more or put more towards debt or investments, you can just modify these percentages here. The rest of this percentage breakdown, such as your plans and your actual update. So basically, once you start entering planned amounts and once you start tracking your actuals, you'll be able to see how you will compare to that goal. But we'll have a better look at that later when we start filling in these amounts. So the income summary will show both your start balance. So if you enter that over here, it will enter that for both your plans and your actual. So at any point you need to modify this, you can just adjust it on the top here. And then it will also show you the total of your income, both for plans and actual. So once you start adding that information down below here, you'll see automatically this update here on the top. So you can see how much there's total for your budget. Now, based on what you enter your planned income, the next section, the cash flow section, will update automatically for you. So basically, based on your planned income and the percentage sign that you set, it will give you a goal amount for both your needs, wants, and future categories. Then the plans and actual will update based on what you enter in all of these columns here. So you can see how you compare to your goal and how you compare to your actual and your plans. To have a better look at our spreadsheet, let's actually add some subcategories so we can have a little bit of a better look and see how this works. To enter a subcategory, all you have to do is click on a field and type in the subcategory that works for you. Now we've just entered a couple subcategories just to show you basically how it works. But once you've entered these, the next thing that you can do is enter all your planned income as well as planned spendings. So to do this, it works the exact same way. You just click on the field and enter the amount. So for example, if for this month you expect a $3,500 paycheck, as well as a $500 bonus, you expect to make some money from your side hustle, and perhaps you're even planning on receiving some money from gifts this month. Now you can see that your plans, the total, automatically updates over here already. Now, another thing that we can see is instead of switching from left to spend, if we go to left to plan, we can now see that this total amount, so both our start balance plus our planned income, is $5,350. So basically, we have $5,350 to spread between our needs, wants, and future categories. And now all we have to do is just enter the planned amounts for these as well. So now that we've updated these amounts, we can see that our left to plan goes down. Now, this is of course some fictional data, but once you start entering your information yourself, you'll see that this is a lot more accurate. Now that we've entered this planned information, we can also see how we compare based on our percentages of what we've entered. So currently, of everything that we have budgeted, so like basically we still have $2,400 left to budget, as we can see. But of this total of $2,950 that we've budgeted, 62% we set aside for needs, 15% for wants, and 22% for the future. Now, we have also added a row for due dates as well as checkboxes. So basically, if you have any payments that are scheduled, so let's say, for example, your car payments, you pay that every month on the 15th, you pay rent on the 1st, and internet on the 7th, you can enter those due dates here so you can easily keep track of when these payments are due. And once you've paid them, you can use these little checkboxes to click them off, so this way you won't forget to make a payment. Now, once we've entered this information, basically your template is complete. From here, what we recommend doing is just duplicating this tab. This way everything is set up, all the formulas are working, and now all you have to do again is change the due dates if needed and change the planned amount if needed. Now to duplicate, you just click on this little tab here and click duplicate. We now have an exact copy of your budget tab. This way, should you accidentally delete anything or modify anything, perhaps delete some fields, this way you can always delete it and start again by making a duplicate of your budget. So now that we have a duplicate and we have a budget for July, what we can do is also rename this so we can easily identify them. So what we just do is click on the little arrow and click rename again, and let's say this is our July budget. Now for the month of July or all the way into August, what we're going to do is keep track of our income and spendings in the transaction tracker that we've added down below here. Now, as you can see, some of these charts have not started updating yet, and that is because we have not entered any actual information. So be sure that when you make your budget, not to enter any information in the actuals, because all these actuals contain formulas. And basically, when you enter information on the top, it will update these actuals, and it will also update the balance tracker automatically, so you can see how your balance fluctuates throughout the month. So now let's add some transactions so we can see a little bit better how this works. So let's say, for example, today is the 25th of July, and we have just received a $500 bonus. So what we just do, we just select income and we select bonus. We can now see that our income is at 1,000 or our balance is at 1,000. Now let's say the next day we are going to do some shopping, and we spent $150 on some of our wants. We spent clothing. We also spent $5 on a coffee, and the next day, for example, we paid off a credit card bill that was $250. And the next day, on the 28th of July, we actually received our $3,500 paycheck. So we just select income, paycheck 1, and this way we can see that our balance starts fluctuating and we can see where we are at our current balance. Now you can just keep adding transactions like this, and basically everything else will update automatically. So you can enter a date by double clicking on this field or just typing in the date yourself. Now it might be good to know that Google Sheets or this file is standard set to the US setup. So if you type in a date as, let's say for example 01/07/23, it will read that as month, date, year. So this will translate to the 7th of January. Now, if you're not from the US and you prefer to have the setup of day, month, year, so you want to have that if you type in 01/07/23 to show up the 1st of July, what you can do is click on File, Settings, and then over here, change the locale. So when you change the locale, basically most countries outside of the US will use a day, month, year setup. Then this will update automatically so that when you type in, so let's say for example, the United Kingdom instead of the United States, you'll see that the spreadsheet automatically will reload. And that way, if now we would type in 01/07/23, it will read it as the 1st of July, so as day, month, year. So basically, that's how you update this. So basically, now that we've started entering this information, so let's say we add one more for the 29th of July, $50 that we spent on dining out. Now we can see our graphs updating automatically. We can see our spending breakdown automatically. So this goes in order from highest to lowest. And this is your needs, wants, and your future categories all in one list. And you'll also be able to see a spending chart here of how much basically went to everything. So just when you click on this, you'll be able to rotate through these amounts. Now when we scroll back up, what you can do is go back to the left to spend section here. You can see basically based on your start balance and your actual income, you had a $4,500 budget this month and how much you've spent in total. So we can see that all these totals have updated automatically for us. We can see that the graphs have started updating and the breakdown, so how much went to our wants and how much went to our future payments, basically have updated as well. You can also see that over here, this has started updating automatically. So this way you'll be easily able to see throughout the month and at the end of the month or paycheck, of course, how you compare to the goal amount that you set. Now, it might be good to know that if you're using this spreadsheet on a tablet or a mobile device and basically use the Google Sheets app, that this number is not visible. So how much is left to spend is not visible, as on mobile devices or on the app, Google Sheets makes all the backgrounds white instead of transparent. So that number is not visible. So then you can read this number over here. So you can see how much there's left to plan and left to spend on this little section over here. Now, to make sure that there was enough space for your needs, wants, and future subcategories, we've added a total of 50 rows for this. But you might not use any of these rows at all. So what you can do is hide these rows so that if in the future you do want them, you can still use them. But for now, you can make your view a little bit more compact. To do this, all you do is just click on the top row that you want to hide, hold Shift on your keyboard, click on the bottom row that you want to hide, right click, and then just click Hide Rows. As you can see, they're now hidden and you have a nice and compact view. At any point that you want to display these rows again, you can just click on these little arrows and they will be visible again. And that is basically how the spreadsheet works. If you have any other questions, be sure to send us a message on Etsy. I'll be sure to leave some contact information down below. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.